Hi, it's Kirby Summers, and I want to welcome you to my true crime podcast. Today is April 16th, and this is a preview. We have all heard about the latest news regarding Sean Combs and the allegations of impropriety that have been not only levied against him, but in some cases he has settled. However, what I did today is I uploaded a patron-only podcast about an artist from the early 1960s that is connected to Interlochen, who also had allegations of sexual abuse made against him. My point being that the music industry, as with the Hollywood industry, these are arms of the intelligence service. In the case that I disclosed today on my Patreon, I talk about a man who was an MK Ultra CIA asset, very close to Alan Dulles. The music industry is full of the P word. And in this particular case, he did something that he was caught for. He was only caught in one instance, but there are many allegations against him. He was caught in a very seedy situation with a 14-year-old girl. I thought it was interesting that he's connected to Interlochen, that his father has some very interesting connections of his own that make it a multi-generational, intelligence connected family line. So that, for example, in my Deconstructing Wexner series that I have on my Substack, I started with Wexner's grandparents in order to really explain, break down detail by detail, how these alternate ideas, which belong to the elite, did not just begin, let's say, in post-World War II world, but were already being formulated pretty early. So, for example, in Wexner's life, his father was born in 1899. And we're talking about Wexner's father because Wexner's an older guy. In this man's history, his father was born in 1899, attended Columbia, which is a breeding ground for the CIA agents. And in fact, I talk about some of this in my book, Jeffrey Epstein, Predator Spy, with regard to Bill Barr's grandparents being part of an early eugenics program conducted at Columbia University. So I wanted to sort of bring this particular artist who I know was MK Ultra CIA handled, and who was only caught in one instance, because even when he was caught and even when he was sent to jail, I mean, only for one, and sent to jail for a very short time, and then later pardoned, and the pardon wasn't even made public for a long time. I thought it was worth doing a small focus around him because of his connection to Interlochen and my personal belief that Interlochen is a cutout. So I think most of you know that Jeffrey Epstein attended Interlochen in 1967, that he actually had his own lodge at Interlochen, and that one of the four women who testified at the Ghislaine Maxwell trial in November, December of 2022 also attended Interlochen, and claims that it was at that point when she was 13 or 14 that she was recruited by Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein into what I'm going to call a cult, but a cult that is connected to the Franklin scandal, that is connected to Presidio, that is connected to all of these other rings that use children and use trafficking and use the P word that you can fill in. And I just have always felt from the beginning of my being involved in doing some of this research, when I came upon Interlochen, it just struck me as sort of like a Disneyland that's kind of made for supposed child amusement. It's in my opinion that Interlochen is, which is also in Michigan, where don't forget the Unabomber has connections to Michigan, that it was made with specific a purpose in mind. Music is very much a tool for the globalists to pretend that they are, let's say, supporting the anti-war movement, as this musician did, but in reality, it's to numb you in a way to certain things. Most of you are aware of this tactic by now. And so I just wanted to be clear that it's not just Sean Combs, let's say, in the music industry. It's not just, let's say, Harvey Weinstein in the Hollywood industry, that it permeates these industries. These industries are definitely an arm of the intelligence services. Now, if you're following me on Substack and you're reading my Deconstructing Wexner series, well, then you will know that CIA is a controlled group that was created by a certain band of people, and it's a paramilitary group that in reality does not work for the interest of the public at large, but it serves the elites with their goals. Okay, guys, hopefully you can join my Patreon today and take a listen to that podcast and many other patron-only podcasts. And again, I don't always put a preview up, but I decided this one is worth listening to. Many of the things that I say on Patreon, I really don't want to put here on this platform because it's heavily censored. All right, guys, give this a like. If you haven't subscribed, take a moment and do so. Thanks for your time. Have a good day. Bye.